What's up, my friend? My name is Calvin Corelli. I'm going to talk today about group coaching versus one-on-one coaching versus courses. I've been in the coaching course business for over 15 years. I started in that world in 2008. I wrote the software called Simplero, which hosts thousands and thousands of people's courses. We've, in total, people on my platform has earned over $645 million. I've seen a few things. I talked to a lot of course creators and they're like, I just want to do courses. I just want to sell courses. I want to create the course. I want to sell the courses. I don't want to do coaching. I don't want to interact with people. I just want to make my course and then have people buy my course. And I totally get it. It's entirely doable and possible. I love courses. I consume a truck ton of courses. Huge fan of courses as a way to learn. The problem is that most people don't want to learn. Most people don't want to consume courses. They don't want to consume information. I have access because people use my software, right? So I can have access to things. I can see what people do. And most people don't actually go through replays. For example, in high ticket mastermind groups where people are paying $30,000 a year, they're not actually in the portal going through the recordings, the content, the videos, even like I'm in there and I'm getting a ton of value from it, but most people aren't. They just don't want to put in the work to actually learn the thing. They want a result and they also want community. So, while courses absolutely work and will continue to work, the challenge with courses is that you still need to pay to acquire customers. Every business needs to somehow acquire customers, and that costs money or time or both, right? So I'm creating free content right now as a way to attract customers to my businesses. That costs time. It also costs money because I hire someone to go edit the videos for me and then post them. And then we might put some ad spend behind them to get them out to more people, et cetera, et cetera. All of this costs money and time. And the problem with a course is that they're usually not worth that much. The amount of money that people are willing to pay for a course is usually not that high. It might be. And if you already have an existing audience that are hungry to buy from you, courses can be an awesome way to monetize that, where you create your content, your information, your course, and then you just sell it to people. But it's hard to do a business that's just courses, because at the end of the day, who can pay the most to acquire a customer is gonna win. Whoever can spend more to acquire customers will be able to acquire more customers at scale. And so they're going to be able to outspend you. And when that's the market condition, it gets really hard to compete. One of the businesses that I was in for a minute is this thing here, Body Meal. It's a meal replacement powder. It's freaking amazing. I love it. It's from Denmark, where I'm from, where the founder had formulated it. I was eating it for years and I just felt amazing. It changed so much about my palate, my body, how I was feeling. And I wanted to share that with the world. So I got the formula. I did a licensing deal with him. I got it manufactured in the US and all that. And then I found that acquiring customers for a supplement is really hard and really expensive. It's a very competitive market. And there were some really big, well-funded players who are willing to spend a lot more to acquire customers, and they're bidding the cost of ads up to where it's impossible to make money on the first order. And so now you got to make sure that you make money on the second order when people re-up, which means you're losing money in the beginning. And there's all this uncertainty where you don't know if they're going to renew after a month or 2 or 3 or 4. Right? When I spoke to some people who are doing agency work with a lot of brands in that market, they're saying there's some really big spenders right now who've just gotten a ton of funding and they're basically going broke, just outspending everybody and willing to lose a truck ton of money to just outspend everybody. And so I decided that this wasn't for me at this time, that this is not what I want to be spending my time. Every business is hard, or everybody would do it. So So yeah, that's the challenge with courses, is that if you don't have something that's higher priced, it's going to be really hard for you to sustainably acquire customers for your business. And this is the challenge for most businesses, is just acquiring customers, especially coaches. We love learning. Most people are not wired that way. They don't care. They're not there to learn. They're there to get the outcome. And if you can get them the outcome faster, with less risk and less effort, then they're going to be willing to spend more on it. The best way to grow, to acquire customers, is to give away for free what other people are charging for. The competition for customers is fierce. The amount of effort and money that you're going to have to put into acquiring customers is only ever going to go up. You have to stand out in the marketplace. We got to have something that is higher value that you can charge more for. I can have a brilliant insight and I share it with the homeless person down here in the street, and it's not going to be worth that much to him. Maybe a penny, maybe a nickel or a dime if I'm lucky, maybe a blunt, I don't know. But then I have the same insight, the same skill, and I apply it to the world's richest man. That one thing might be worth so much more to that person. There's a rule of thumb in this industry that about 1/5 of your audience, like 20% of your customers, is willing to pay 5 times more. And of those people, about 20%, 1 out of 5, is willing to pay 5 times more than that. And you can essentially keep going. There's going to be someone who's willing to pay you $1 million for something, right? Just as there's way more people who are willing to pay you $1 for something. It's just a matter of finding the right person. The next level from courses is to get into coaching. A lot of people do one-on-one coaching, and now it's all one-on-one, and they do sessions, or they're therapists and all that stuff. And that's going to burn you out really quickly. Day in and day out, you got one-on-one sessions, one-on-one sessions, one-on-one sessions. You say the same thing over and over again. What I'm seeing that's working really, really well in this market is this combination of coaching and courses in a group format. So you have video courses that teaches people some specific skills, like here's how to plan your meal, or here's how to plan your workout program, or here's how to acquire customers, whatever it is. Like there's certain skills that you can teach with video courses. People get access to that. Then there is the group coaching every week. What I like to do is I share some kind of framework or some kind of exercise or something that we go through together at the beginning. And then after that, whatever is remaining of the time, I usually have 90 minutes for these calls. We do Q&A. Bring whatever you have that's going on with you, and we'll work through it. We'll figure out how do we solve it. Maybe it's a simple system shift. Maybe it's a simple strategy shift. Oftentimes it's a simple mindset shift, but whatever it is, we figure that out. That is the coaching. So you have access to me every week in that program. Every recording there also goes and becomes part of the library. And so every week as you do another coaching call, that becomes more content that people can find. And thanks to the search and the chatbot, it's actually usable and findable. And then there's the community portion. There's a group where people can connect with each other online 24/7. In a group setting, it's actually more valuable than if it's just one-on-one, because now you have access to the whole community as well that can support each other. So you get value, not just from me, but from the entire group. So now you have these transformations that are happening that are so much deeper than if it was just one-on-one coaching. Bottom line is, if you want this business to really work and really make money, you got to figure out how to do something that's higher value. There's always a cost to acquire a lead, whether it's $100 or $50 or $1,000 or whatever. There's always a dollar amount on what it costs you to acquire every customer. It could be that you're spending that in paid ads, plus you're hiring an agency, or you have some person working in your team who's doing it, they have an hourly rate, or maybe you doing all the work, but you need to assign yourself an hourly rate as well. What is your time worth? And that's how you calculate what is it actually costing you to acquire every customer. The more money you can make from each person, like the lifetime value that you can make from each person, the more you can afford to spend to acquire a customer. And the sooner you get that money, the sooner you can put that back into acquiring more customers, so that you keep growing and compounding like that. But if you only have low ticket stuff, the math isn't going to work. And the cost of acquiring a customer is only going to get up, because it's only going to get more competitive. Deal with it. And I'm sorry, but this is just the way it is. But this is why we get paid the big bucks when we do it well. Yeah, because it's hard and most people aren't going to want to do it. So let's say we have a $10 CPL, cost per lead, right? And let's say we get 1 out of every 100 leads buys your 100K thing. So that means it costs you $1,000 for a 100K sale. That's pretty good, right? That's, a 1 to 100 ROAS. That's probably a little unrealistic, but let's just say for the sake of argument that that's what you're doing. It depends on how you're advertising and how you like all the things, right? But let's say that is the case. That's awesome. But what's beautiful about this is that now this one sale is paying for all of these leads that you generated. So you already paid for 100 leads. They're already paid for. Chances are that you could probably get 10 of these or 20 of these leads to buy something cheaper, right? A portion of these leads would buy something cheaper. Because you had this high price thing, you can make money off of all the leads that you generated in the process of acquiring leads for this high ticket thing. And they're already paid for. So they're essentially free. Does that make sense? So you already covered the cost of acquiring those leads. And so now converting them to your course sales or some other program that's cheaper is going to be a lot easier. You're getting those leads for free. So this is why, as you do your coaching business or your course business or whatever it is, think about how are you going to acquire customers and how are you going to pay for it? Some people just have an edge there. They already built an audience. They already love doing free content and they're good at it. They've built a following. Now they just need to monetize it. That's awesome. A lot of people are just starting out. They're like, well, I have the skill. I'm a clairvoyant or I'm a fitness coach or whatever. Like everybody needs what I have, right? They've been on the hero's journey. If you guys are familiar with the hero's journey, you start in ordinary world and then something comes and breaks the ordinary world. And then you go through these stages, you meet a mentor and you visit with the innermost abyss and you come home, but there's some more dragons to be slayed. And then you cross the threshold and you come back with the elixir, right? You've already figured this thing out. You've I've figured this, I've done this. I know how to cure this health issue, this health condition, like detox from heavy metals. I've, build the ideal dream body after you've been given birth or whatever it is that you help your clients with. I figured it out. The world should be beating a path to my door because I know this. And you start your business and you realize, oh crap, that didn't happen. And the reason it doesn't happen is because the market's freaking competitive. Even though you and I both know that you figured out something brilliant and unique that tons of people know, the reality is most people don't care and they live in a trance. They have to be woken up. And, once they wake up, there are options out there. So we gotta figure out how to stand out. And this is what I call your second hero's journey. So you basically go around this whole damn thing one more time. You're like, oh crap, nobody buys my coaching program. Now what am I gonna do? Oh, you're like, okay, world is broken, call to adventure. The first step is always the call to adventure and then the refusal of the adventure is like, oh fuck, I don't want to do this. But then we figure out, crap, we got to do this. And so you meet your mentor. And so you face the innermost cave and abyss and you come back and da-da-da. And then you have the elixir. And then you figured out not just how to help people with whatever the problem or the outcome that you help them with is, but you've also figured out how to create a business around it, which is a whole different skill set. But you must learn this if you want to work for yourself, because that is the game of business. The game of business is business. We got to figure it out. We got to own it. We got to master it. And nobody's going to do it for you. This is the dream that I see so many people have. They're like, oh, I just want someone to come in here, see my genius, and then they will take it all on and they will get me all the clients and they'll do it all for me. And great if you can do it, but I have yet to see it work. And it usually stems from you not being willing to really see your genius. And so you want someone else to see your genius and then give it the right structure and system that it needs to thrive. Real talk, It's your job to see your genius and really own it and honor it in the way that it needs to be honored. That is your job. It's not mine. It's not anybody else's. And part of that is to build the structure, craft the right offers, the right mechanisms, whatever it is, to make it a thriving, sustainable business. And this, my friends, is going to take more work than you think, more work than you would like, more work than you think is fair, maybe. But this is the world that we live in. It takes more effort than we thought. And it's not the fact that it takes longer that's the problem. It's your expectation that it should be faster or easier. That is the problem. So just let go of all expectations. If this is what you want to do, commit to it. Recognize that there's going to be so much to learn, so much to master, so much to figure out, and just indulge, like go all in. There's one thing that makes the biggest difference between people who go for it and get it and people who don't is the fucking hunger. It's the hunger. I think society fucks us up by numbing us out to where that hunger isn't really there. We forget what it feels like to be hungry because we are always satiated by stuff. Food or drink, alcohol or drugs or being sedentary or whatever. It like quells that hunger in us. And the more that you can cultivate the hunger, the better it's gonna freaking be. It's enough for today. I can, as you can tell, like once I get fired up, I can keep going and going and going. Because I'm fucking passionate about this. And I've been on this journey for such a long time. And I have seen so many things. I've tried so many things. One of my mottos is I've tried everything so you don't have to. And that is what I offer to you on this channel. If this was useful to you, make sure that you click subscribe and hit the bell. Tell all your fucking friends because they're awesome and they need some help too. And with that, you are freaking amazing. So am I. Let's go crush this. Love you.